You've probably heard the familiar advice. A warm shower at night helps you relax and sleep better. But what if that very moment of relaxation quietly becomes a hidden trap for your brain? It may sound hard to believe, yet I've witnessed it many times in the emergency room. Older adults who take good care of their health, eating well, not smoking, not drinking, suddenly wake up one morning paralyzed on one side, their mouth drooping, and their speech slurred. Imagine yourself sitting on the sofa, reading a storybook to your grandchild. Their eyes light up as they listen carefully to every word, but suddenly you feel your lips grow heavy, your voice distorted, your arm no longer lifting. A joyful moment instantly turns into terror, and all because of a habit you've repeated for decades, one that seemed completely harmless. As a brain specialist, I've treated hundreds of such cases. The frightening part isn't that these patients lived recklessly. It's that ordinary routines, showering too late, using water that's too hot, or bathing right after dinner, became the triggers for a stroke. No warning, no clear symptoms, just one peaceful night turning into a nightmare. So where does the problem lie? Aging changes the body in ways we don't always see. Blood vessels lose elasticity, the heart pumps slower, the liver and kidneys filter less efficiently. Blood pressure and heart medications make circulation harder to control. Nighttime hormones drop vascular pressure even further. And in that fragile balance, habits once thought healthy may be the final drop that tips the brain into oxygen shortage, clots, and blockage. That's why today, I want to show you 5 common bathing habits many seniors unknowingly practice, habits that can quietly open the door for stroke to enter. It may sound alarming, but once you understand them, you can absolutely avoid them. Let's start with the first habit, the close friend that can also be a silent betrayer. Taking overly hot showers at night. A sweet trap for the aging brain. You may have experienced this yourself. After a long, tiring day, you step into the bathroom and let the stream of hot water fall across your shoulders. Your muscles loosen, your knees stop creaking, the stiffness in your back eases. For many older adults, this is a rare moment of peace. Some even believe that taking a hot shower before bed helps them drift into deeper sleep. But that comfort can sometimes be a sweet trap for the brain. When hot water touches the skin, your blood vessels instantly dilate like a rubber band being stretched. Blood pressure drops quickly. For young people, with strong hearts and flexible vessels, the body can adjust. But at 60 or 70, when vessels are stiff and the heart pumps weakly, this sudden plunge in blood pressure can sharply reduce blood flow to the brain. When the brain doesn't get enough oxygen, even for just a few minutes, nerve cells begin to struggle. Worse still, slower blood flow makes it easier for plaque or platelets to clump together, forming a clot. And if that clot travels to the brain, it can block off an entire region. To others, you might look just slightly unsteady, but inside, the brain is already in crisis. I vividly remember Mr. Reynolds, a 74-year-old retired postal worker. He lived with discipline, simple meals, daily walks, no alcohol, but he had one unshakable habit. Every night he took a very hot shower before bed. He said it made him feel young again, completely relaxed. One night after his shower, he felt a bit tired, but assumed it was just age. He went to bed as usual. By morning, his wife found him motionless, his mouth drooping, eyes vacant. At the hospital, the doctors confirmed he had suffered an ischemic stroke. They explained that the sharp blood pressure drop after his hot evening shower had slowed circulation in the brain, setting the stage for a clot to form and block a vital artery. It was a quiet tragedy. A routine that once gave comfort ended up stealing his ability to walk, to speak, even his independence. And the most frightening part, it happened inside his own home, the place he thought was safest. If you're over 60, remember, your body no longer reacts the way it did at 30 or 40. Hot water relaxes muscles, yes, but it can also steal the stability of your blood pressure. And if you're taking blood pressure medication, the effect is doubled. Your pressure drops further, and your brain is starved of oxygen. That doesn't mean you must abandon the comfort of warm water altogether. But be wise. Keep the temperature moderate warm, not scalding. Limit your time under the stream, rather than soaking too long. And if you truly want a nighttime shower, take it earlier in the evening, giving your body time to stabilize before sleep. Don't think, I'm used to it. Nothing will happen. That very sense of complacency has cost many of my patients a stroke, and once the brain is damaged, recovery is never guaranteed. Hot night showers may seem harmless, but for an aging brain, they're a dangerous game. Do you have this habit? You finish a heavy dinner, swallow a few pills prescribed by your doctor, and then head straight to the bathroom for a shower. It sounds reasonable. Take care of everything at once, feel clean, and relax for better sleep. But for older adults, this very convenience can turn into a nightmare for the brain. Picture your body as a river. After a large meal, most of that river flows toward the stomach to help with digestion. The brain, temporarily, receives less water. That's normal physiology. But if, at that very moment, you step into the shower and let hot water run over your skin, your body diverts even more blood to the skin's surface to release heat. The brain, which was already getting less blood after the meal, now becomes even more deprived of oxygen. The danger doesn't end there. Many common blood pressure or heart medications already lower pressure and dilate vessels. Combined with a big meal and hot water, blood pressure can plummet even further. That sudden drop creates the perfect environment for clots to form. Once they travel to the brain, the result can be a stroke in just minutes. I remember Mrs. Thompson, a 76-year-old retired teacher. She lived with discipline, dinner always on time, medication taken punctually, and a hot shower afterward to prepare for bed. Everything seemed perfect until one evening. Stepping out of the shower, she suddenly felt dizzy, her legs weak. Minutes later, she collapsed, her right arm limp, her speech slurred. At the hospital, brain scans revealed a blocked vessel. Doctors explained that the combination of dinner, blood pressure medication, and hot water had caused her pressure to drop sharply, slowing circulation and allowing a clot to form. Luckily, her daughter noticed quickly and rushed her to the ER, saving her life, but her speech never fully recovered. This habit may sound harmless, but in reality it's a double trap for older adults. After eating, the body is already drained, directing energy to digestion. After medication, blood pressure is already unstable. Add the heat of hot water, and the brain is suddenly starved of blood. Just once can leave lasting consequences. If you or a loved one still practice this routine, remember, don't rush. Give your body time to process the meal or the medication. At minimum, Wait an hour after eating or taking pills before showering. This buffer allows circulation to stabilize, digestion to ease, and blood pressure to return to a safer range. Another crucial reminder: listen to your body. If you feel dizzy, sleepy, or lightheaded after a meal or medication, that's a clear sign your brain is under strain. In those moments, stepping into the shower is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Don't trade long-term safety for short-term convenience. For the young, it may not matter, but for those over 60, one small choice, like waiting an extra hour, can be the line between an ordinary evening and a sudden stroke. And if you think only meals and medications pose risks, just wait for the next habit. Locked the door, turned on the hot water, and let the steam slowly wrap around you. It feels like a home spa. The mirror fogs up. The room becomes private and warm, and it seems as though every ache in your body melts away with the mist. For many older adults, this is a nightly ritual, a way to relax and feel youthful and safe. But hidden behind that comfort is a danger few recognize. When you stay too long in a closed bathroom filled with steam, the rising humidity and heat lower the oxygen levels in the air. You can't see it, and you may not even notice it, but each breath delivers less oxygen than normal. At the same time, the heat causes your blood vessels to dilate, lowering blood pressure. Together, less oxygen and reduced pressure create a highly dangerous situation for the brain. As blood slows through stiffened arteries in older adults, it begins to thicken. And in just a few seemingly peaceful minutes under the water, small clots can quietly form. Once they travel, they can block blood supply to the brain. No warning, no clear symptoms, just a sudden fall, or a sentence that suddenly comes out garbled and life changes forever. I recall Mr. Wallace, a 79-year-old retired mechanic. He lived alone, but was meticulous about hygiene. Every night he enjoyed long hot showers, at least 20 minutes in a closed bathroom. He said it was when he felt young again, when his back and knees loosened in the steam. But one night, as he stepped out, he felt dizzy. Minutes later, he collapsed in the hallway. Neighbors who heard the noise rushed in to find him lying motionless, the right side of his body paralyzed, his speech slurred. At the hospital, doctors confirmed a severe ischemic stroke. They explained the combination of trapped steam, high heat, and prolonged time in the bathroom had left his brain oxygen-deprived and thickened his blood, making clot formation more likely. The very relaxation therapy he trusted had nearly cost him his life. This is a danger many don't realize. When you're young, the body adapts easily. But after 60, the lungs no longer exchange gases efficiently, the heart is weaker, and blood vessels less flexible. Every extra minute in a suffocating bathroom forces your brain to struggle for oxygen. And as circulation slows, stroke risk silently climbs with each passing second. That doesn't mean you have to give up the comfort of a warm shower. But change the way you do it. Keep the bathroom ventilated, turn on the fan. Crack a window. Don't let the steam build up thick. Limit your time, 8 to 10 minutes is enough. And if you feel dizzy, notice a racing heartbeat or shortness of breath. Stop immediately. Those are urgent signals your body is crying out for help. Don't let a moment of comfort turn into lifelong disability. You can absolutely enjoy relaxation without putting your brain in danger. Remember, what makes you feel young again for a few minutes could cost you your independence for the rest of your life. And if you think steam is the only hidden threat, get ready the next habit. You've probably heard it somewhere. Cold showers in the morning help wake you up, burn fat, and boost immunity. On TV, in health magazines, even from young fitness trainers, this advice is often praised as a golden secret. For a 25-year-old with flexible arteries, a strong heart, and resilient circulation. That may be true, but for someone over 60, it's often too much of a shock, sometimes even a dangerous trap for the brain. When cold water suddenly hits your skin, your body reacts instantly. Blood vessels constrict as if a wide road suddenly narrowed. Blood pressure spikes like a wave. The heart is forced to pump harder to push blood through those tightened pipes. For young people with supple vessels and strong hearts, it may only cause a brief shiver. But for seniors whose arteries are stiff, sometimes lined with hidden plaque, this jolt is like a storm ripping through. The sudden pressure can cause tiny tears in vessel walls, and when that happens, the body rushes to patch them by forming blood clots. At first they may be small, but as blood continues to flow, they can grow, and pieces can break off, traveling straight to the brain. The result? A stroke that arrives without warning. I'll never forget Mr. Jennings, a 68-year-old retired firefighter. He had spent a lifetime being strong and resilient. So when he saw a health program praising morning cold showers, he immediately tried it. At first, he felt more awake, breathing deeper, proud to prove he was still fit. But just weeks later, one morning, his wife heard a loud thud from the bedroom. She rushed in to find him on the floor, his face drooping, his right arm limp, his speech slurred. The hospital confirmed he had suffered a stroke triggered by a blood clot formed after a cold shower spike in blood pressure. The tragedy was that Mr. Jennings truly believed he was doing something good for his health. He wasn't lazy, he wasn't careless, but at 68, his body was no longer the same as it was at 28. Applying a young person's habit to an older body had pushed him past his limits. This is an important lesson. Not every habit that benefits the young is safe for seniors. The difference lies in the arteries, the heart, and the body's response to sudden change. For older adults, a shock of cold water in the morning is like forcing the heart to swim upstream in a narrow, rocky river. What's the safer solution? If you want the refreshing feeling of a shower, start with warm water. If you wish to lower the temperature, do it gradually, allowing your body time to adjust instead of shocking it all at once. If you have high blood pressure, heart disease, or have ever experienced dizziness or headaches, avoid sudden cold showers completely. Also, listen to your body. If you feel shivering, short of breath, or notice an unusually rapid heartbeat while showering, stop immediately. No health benefit is worth the price of a stroke. The first moments of your day should begin with safety, not with risky games played against your heart and brain. Alertness can come from a warm cup of tea, a few gentle stretches, or simply the morning sun streaming through your window. Don't let a blast of cold morning water become the reason you lose that very routine forever. And if you think only mornings are risky, picture a familiar scene. The house is quiet, the clock nears 11 p.m. You're getting ready for bed, but before that, you want to de-stress with a hot shower. Under the water, your body seems to melt. The day's tension slips away. For many older adults, this is a cherished routine, a nightly ritual to close the day. But here's the sad truth. That seemingly harmless habit can actually be the most dangerous time for the brain. When you bathe too late, your body is already shifting into sleep mode, core temperature dropping, blood pressure naturally lower, and circulation slowing down. Step into hot water then, and blood vessels dilate further, drawing blood to the skin instead of the brain. Meanwhile, sweating and steam dehydrate you without you realizing it. The result? Thicker blood, slower circulation, and a spike in clot formation risk. Young bodies can compensate for these fluctuations, but past 60, things change. Blood vessels lose elasticity, kidneys filter less efficiently, and diuretics or blood pressure meds make drops in pressure even more dramatic. When an already fragile brain faces low blood flow and oxygen deprivation at night, consequences can strike silently. You go to bed relaxed, but may wake up with one side paralyzed. I'll never forget Mrs. Carter, 79, a sharp and independent woman from Ohio. Every night before bed, she had the habit of soaking in hot water to ease her joints. She believed it helped her sleep better. But one morning, her daughter called and noticed her mother's voice was slurred. Rushing over, she found her sitting in a chair, confused, her right arm lifeless. At the hospital, doctors confirmed she had suffered a stroke during the night. Tests showed her blood had thickened from dehydration, and her blood pressure had plunged after the late-night bath. That tragedy isn't rare. I've seen many patients with the same story. What seemed like a healthy routine became the last straw for an aging body. When the brain is deprived of blood while you sleep, it doesn't sound the alarm. Only in the morning, when you wake, does the truth reveal itself, and by then, it's too late to turn back. This doesn't mean seniors must give up evening baths entirely. The issue isn't bathing, it's when and how. The solution is simple. Bathe earlier in the evening, at least 2 or 3 hours before bed. Keep water warm, not scalding. Drink a glass of water afterward to replace what you've lost. And if you're on diuretics or blood pressure meds, be extra cautious. Your risk of a post-bath pressure crash is higher. Another crucial principle: never ignore your body's signals. If you feel lightheaded, unusually fatigued, or off after bathing, take it as your brain's warning. Rest and let someone know instead of suffering in silence. Many of my patients admitted they had small signs before their stroke, but ignored them, thinking they were nothing. By the next morning, their body was no longer whole. Late night is already the brain's most vulnerable time, as blood pressure and circulation naturally slow. A hot shower only makes things worse. Don't let your day's final moment of comfort become the cause that robs you of clarity and independence. After walking through 5 bathing habits that seem harmless but actually carry frightening risks, you may be feeling both surprised and concerned. For decades we've believed bathing was simple, even beneficial for health. But once the body reaches 60, 70, or 80, nothing is truly harmless anymore. The body changes, and those very changes can turn familiar routines into hidden threats. Let's face the truth. Your heart no longer pumps blood with the strength it did at 30. Your vessels are no longer supple. They're stiff, prone to tiny tears. Your kidneys and liver work slower, making it harder to regulate blood pressure or filter toxins. And the brain, the most delicate organ of all, relies even more heavily on steady blood and oxygen supply. Just a small disruption in circulation, lasting only minutes, can unleash a storm that devastates memory, speech, and mobility. The 5 dangerous habits we've discussed are 5 different doors leading to the same outcome: reduced blood flow and oxygen to the brain, hot water dropping blood pressure too far, showering right after meals or meds diverting blood away from the brain, closed, steamy bathrooms robbing you of oxygen, sudden cold water spikes driving blood pressure sky high, late-night hot showers thickening blood while you sleep. Different paths, but all roads lead to one danger: clots and stroke. And the most frightening part is the silence of this process. No warning, no sharp pain. It quietly builds until everything changes in an instant. But here's the good news: you can take control. With just a few adjustments, bathing returns to what it should be: refreshing, not risky. First, keep it short. 8 to 10 minutes is enough. You don't need to stand under the water for half an hour to feel clean. Those extra minutes are what raise the danger. Second, choose moderate temperatures. Neither too hot nor too cold. For older adults, extremes are the enemy. Warm water is enough to relax muscles without sending blood pressure plunging or spiking. Third, mind the timing. Don't shower immediately after eating or taking medication. Wait at least an hour, and avoid very late-night baths, since the brain is most fragile at night. The safest times are mid-morning or early evening, when the body is balanced. Fourth, ventilate. Turn on a fan. Crack a window. Don't let your bathroom turn into a sealed steam chamber. Your brain needs oxygen, and every breath in a stifling space deprives it. Finally, drink water before and after. It sounds simple, but hydration keeps blood from thickening, cutting down clot risk. Above all, listen to your body. If you feel dizzy, lightheaded, your heart races, or even just something feels off after bathing, don't ignore it. Consider it your brain's alarm. Many patients I've treated admitted they had small warning signs, but dismissed them until a stroke struck and took everything away. When people think about health, they often imagine big changes or complex methods. But sometimes it's the smallest things, like how you bathe, the temperature you choose, or the time you step into the shower, that decide whether you preserve memory, speech, and independence in old age. The message is clear. You don't have to give up bathing, and you don't have to live in fear. You only need to change how you bathe. A few small adjustments can protect your brain from silent strokes. In the next part, I'll wrap up with the final message: why knowledge is your strongest weapon, helping you not just live longer, but live healthier and more fully, day after day. After hearing the whole story, you've probably realized a truth that is both simple and frightening. The most familiar habits, sometimes even the most comforting ones, can become silent threats to your brain. Not cigarettes, not alcohol, not fast food, but the shower in your own bathroom, something you touch every day, can sometimes be the very trigger for a stroke. But what I want you to remember is not fear. I want you to remember that knowledge and the ability to change is the real power. Once you understand your body, once you respect the limits of age, you can turn risks into safety. You can turn your shower back into what it should be: a time of relaxation, not a trap waiting for your brain. When you were young, you could stay up late, shower at odd hours, even shock your body with cold water without much consequence. But at 60, 70, or 80, Every little choice carries weight. Your arteries are no longer elastic, your heart no longer as strong, your brain no longer able to endure oxygen deprivation for long. That doesn't mean you are weak, it simply means your body has changed, and it deserves wiser care. Let's recall the 5 risky habits we uncovered together. Hot showers at night, dropping blood pressure too far. Showering right after meals or medication, pulling blood away from the brain. Closed, steamy bathrooms depriving you of oxygen. Sudden cold morning showers, spiking blood pressure like a tidal wave. Late-night showers thickening blood while you sleep. Each habit starts with comfort, but that comfort is just a mask hiding danger. And when the mask comes off, too many people are left facing the harsh truth. They lose mobility, speech, even independence, all because of a single wrong choice in the bathroom. The difference is you now know. And once you know, you have the power to choose just by adjusting when you bathe, keeping water at a moderate temperature, shortening your shower time, keeping the bathroom ventilated, and drinking water before and after you've eliminated most of the risks. These changes cost nothing, require no complicated effort, only attention and commitment. Most important of all, listen to your body. Never dismiss warning signs like dizziness, blurred vision, shaky hands, or slurred speech. These are not just normal aging, they are your body calling for help. And if you listen in time, you can stop a tragedy before it strikes. In the ER, I've seen both extremes, patients whose lives changed overnight because they ignored the signs, and others who stayed alert, made changes, and went on to enjoy their later years fully. The difference was knowledge and action. So here is my final message: respect your body and protect your brain. Never underestimate small habits because they piece together the bigger picture of health. Don't let a few minutes of comfort in the shower cost you years of independence and clarity. If you found this message helpful, share it. One reminder, one conversation may save someone else from a stroke. And if you'd like to continue this journey with me, learning how to safeguard your memory, your heart, and your health as you age, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave a comment. I truly want to hear your experiences and questions, because every story can become a lesson that saves lives. Life in your later years isn't just about surviving. It's about enjoying, staying sharp, staying independent. And it all begins with wise choices every day, even in something as small as how you shower. So the next time you step into the bathroom, remember this: you may no longer be 30, but you can still be healthy and independent at 70. Shower smart for your health, your memory, and the happiness of yourself and your loved ones.